Welcome to Consulting Chai, to another episode, and this is about NABH, and we will be covering about blood center. So please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for any notification. So these are the things we will be covering today. We'll start with the general requirements, and then we'll go about the HR and training. Then we'll talk about registration, counseling, testing, and then we'll cover the bleeding room and the refreshment room requirements. Then we'll talk about the labs, we'll talk about safety, and then we'll talk about documentation. So let's start. In the general topic, we will be talking about how a blood center is first categorized. So we see the number of units processed on a daily basis. We multiply it 365 and then we arrive to a number, and that number is how you basically determine what is the size of the blood center. Then you have in whenever you enter a blood center, you will see there has to be a board where they are updating the stock of blood unit or blood component unit on every 8 hours. Okay, so this is very important to have. Next thing is quality indicators. So quality indicators can be something like a turnaround time, the incident number of incidents that has happened, number of near miss incident, number of adverse event, like that, and number of deferral. Deferral is basically the rejection of collection. Then you have something like loss of unit, as in how many blood units were expired, etc. So something like that. Then you have signages. In signages, there can be several signages, something like a code display where you have written the information about various codes, like code red, what you're supposed to do, code blue, what you're supposed to do, like that. And then you can have certain signages like the TAT display. So you need to display in general, like in routine cases, how much turnaround time you guarantee. Okay, that is 90 minutes, or in case of emergency, it may be 20 minutes, and in case of life saving, it can be 10 minutes. So within that time, you are saying that we um, dispatch the blood unit. Okay. Then you have some statutory compliances that you need to maintain, like blood center license. The If you have a hospital, parent hospital, then the hospital certificate is required. PCB license is required. Fire NOCs are required. And then storage of blood. This is very important. So a whole blood or PRBC, you need to store it between 2 to 6 degrees Celsius. For platelets, you need to store it in room temperature. So the range given is 20 to 24 degrees Celsius, and for FVP or cryoprecipitate, it is minus 18 degrees Celsius. In HRN training, there are certain things which are required. So, in terms of the manpower, the number of doctors, technicians, nurses, counselors, you can refer to one a public notice which was given by Ceresco, which is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The date is 10th January 2019. So the staffing pattern requirement is written there, so you can follow that. Then in terms of manpower, the employee files are important. So in employee files, you need to keep the job description, the staff orientation record, training certificates, police verification, privileging of the staff, annual compensatory annual competency record, then confidentiality agreement which has to be signed, a vaccination record, and HBS titer test. So these are requirement of the employee files. Then on top of this, you need to have those certificates, academic certificates, identification proof, address proof, all that. Then comes the trainings. Now, in training, you need to have your training calendar. So a training calendar is given there. So you can see the NABH guideline there. And as per the NACO, they have a list of training which needs to be completed. So for each training, you need to have the first the calendar is there. Then you need to have a feedback, okay, um, of the training. So the feedback will be given by the staff who are undergoing the training. One more point here is the training record. In the training record, you need to mention in one paragraph, you need to write about what the training topic is all about, and then the list of people who have undergone the training. So that becomes a training record. And then you have training effectiveness evaluation. So after about 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month, you need to reevaluate the um, staff for the effectiveness of training. And if they are found that they still need more in-depth training, then you have to give the training accordingly. Okay. Registration, counseling, testing. We have the professional donors. We need to have certain system to identify the professional donors. So it can be one very common thing is when we are asking the donor questionnaire. When we are asking counseling them, then we can find out a lot of things about them. You can, whenever you find any professional donors, what you can do is you can take a picture of it. You can keep it in a notice board which is um, visible to your staff only. Okay, so the staff can be cautious when these professional donors come again in the blood bank. Then the counseling questions. So um, the kind of question that assessor asks you is like, are you asking all the questions which are there in the questionnaire? Are you asking questions, very tricky questions like, do you have multiple sex partners? So such questions needs to be framed very tactfully, and you have to put it in the right professional way. Okay, and if there is a problem with the sex, like if the counselor is a male person, and if the person who has come for donation it's a female, then a female nurse should be called, and they need to ask those private questions. Okay, then comes your donor questionnaire. In the donor questionnaire, one very important thing is you need to have a part where you are taking consent for HIV and ECV test. Okay, without consent, you cannot do the HIV or ECV test. Okay, then in the testing part, very important thing is you need to have the HemoQ machine. You need to have it calibrated. You need to run QCs, daily QCs for that. Your BP apparatus, if it's a digital one, you need to calibrate it, get it calibrated. It should be updated. And also the weighing machine, it should also be calibrated. Bleeding and refreshment rooms. So in the bleeding room, you must have a chair, and the chair should be working fine. So when there is a case when the patient gets dizzy, then you need to make sure that the you can lift the foot side of the bed, and it should be in working condition. The lighting should be proper, uh, so that the vein, it is all visible. So you must have a good lighting there. You must see that the oxygen cylinder is working and it's in working condition. You need to see that the emergency medicines are kept. Those are checked on daily basis. None of the emergency medicines should be expired. And if there is a case of LASA, lookalike sound-alike, you can refer to my pharmacy video to understand what is LASA. So lookalike sound-alike should also be segregated in the emergency medicines if there are any. And then you need to have a spill kit. Okay. So blood spill, you have to have a proper process to mitigate the spill incident. So people there who are working in the bleeding and refreshment room, they should be able to answer how to manage spill. Okay, I have covered spill management in some other video. In the video of code, so under code orange, you can refer to that video and see what is the requirement of a spill kit, the contents of the spill kit, and how to use that. All those points are covered in that video, so you can see that video. In labs, what we follow here in blood centers, it is similar to what we do in NABH labs. Okay, so in serology lab or any of these labs, you need to have your equipments calibrated. Okay, and calibrated equipment, if it is non-analyzers, then you need to have a NABH logo in the certificate. That means the calibration lab has those equipment under their scope of calibration. Okay. You need to run internal QCs. You need to have BCAS programs enrolled, and then you need to prepare pool cells on daily basis. And if you you're not willing to prepare pool cells every day, then you can use a commercial one. In TTI, you have to do the ELISA controls, okay, for each plate. So there you need to, it is little different from how we do it in biochemistry or in HEMAT, because you're not getting just one number. Especially for the negative control, your value is so small that you need to also add the cutoff values. Okay, and then whatever value you get, you analyze that. You take out your lab mean, follow that lab mean, use it in a Levy-Jennings chart, use Westgard rule to find out that every plate that you are doing, whether it is under control or not. Okay. And then, yeah, and if you have a CLIA machine, then your Levy-Jennings chart, everything it's taken care of automatically. If you don't have that, then what you need to do is you need to do all these things manually. Then comes your quality control. The quality control lab, you need you have cell counters there. So cell counters, again, it needs to be calibrated. You need to run QCs. So the QC running, it is like 1%. So for every 100 units that you do, you need to do one IQC run, internal quality control run. Okay. In terms of safety, now you need to have a hazmat box labeled as hazmat. So you can have a metal box where you store all the chemicals. Okay, and hazmat should be accompanied with a MSDS, material safety data sheet. So whatever chemical you want, you are using, you can just Google it, MSDS for this chemical, and then you'll get the MSDS. You need to file it, take a printout of it and file it, and keep it in a visible location where you can see that MSDS is written in the file. Okay. Then fire safety. In terms of fire safety, everyone needs to understand how to handle a fire emergency. Okay, for that you need to have race pass. You need to have your extinguishers placed in proper locations. Okay, you need to have fire exit signages, all that. For fire safety code red, you can refer to the code red video that I have already uploaded. Your PPE is very important. So all staff from head to toe, they need to wear all required PPE. Then electrical safety needs to be taken into consideration. There should not be any naked wire lying anywhere in the blood center. And if there are electrical points and all, you should never have any combustible materials like paper, clothes there. And then you need to do a risk analysis on monthly basis, if you at least monthly basis. If you want to do it more frequently, that is okay, you can do that. Then you have BMW, biomedical waste. So how do you segregate biomedical waste? How do you store it? All that things needs to be taken care of. Then how do you do the liquid waste disposal? Acha, here in the biomedical waste, you need to use a autoclave where you disinfect, not disinfect, you sterilize the blood bags before you give it. Okay, so in certain cases that is highly recommended, and you need to use a proper class 5 indicators, biological indicators, if you're using an autoclave. If you're using autoclave, okay, then you need to maintain all the records accordingly. Liquid waste disposal, if you have an ETP, very good. Otherwise, Karnataka model will suffice. The documents. So these documents you require to keep it. These SOPs, inside the SOPs you have the small policies which are which shall be made on the basis of the as per the requirement of NABH standard. So you have a quality manual. So the quality manual is the standard itself, which is explained as per the blood center. Okay, so all the clauses of the NABH standard, all that needs to be defined according to the blood center. So all that will be there in the quality manual. Next, the blood center SOPs. So whenever you go to any blood center, you will always have one SOP. So that main SOP of the blood center. So that has basically the standard processes done in the blood center. Okay. Then you have the component SOP. What test you're doing in the component, like SOP for PRBC, platelet, FFP, cryoprecipitate, if it is there. Those things needs to be there in the component SOP. Then TTI SOP, it contains the ELISA, malaria, HIV, HCV, etc. All that. Immunohematology SOP, here it contains the grouping and other tests. Okay. Then quality control SOP. So in quality control lab, what you are doing, so all quality control of components, the operations of equipment, all those details are covered here. And then all the admin related works are all covered in admin SOP. One very important thing is, apart from these documents, you need to have a very good filing system. You need to code all your files, all your forms, format, records, everything needs to be filed, and it has to have a proper code. And for all these documents, one very, very important thing is you need to have a master copy, which is the main copy. Okay, and all other sub copies, it needs to have a label of control copy. So master copy, how much master copy you have, how much control copy of, you have for all these SOPs, you need to maintain the details of all that. Okay. So thanks for watching till the end, and please share your views about this video. What more I could have done here. Please write about that. I have tried to cover everything in a very short period of time, so you can write your views there. And please like the video, please share it, and subscribe, and please hit the bell icon for more notification of such videos. Thank you, and see you again.